Okay, okay. Today's date is the 27th of April, 2026. The time now is 27th of April, 2066. The time now is 11:24 a.m. So we have what am I doing today? So this video is the U POW framework. The U for umbrella, P for Papa, O for Oscar, W for West, E for Echo, R for Romeo. The U power framework. Your right to a power. Your right to the power. To the power. Your right to the power. So your right to power. So the U power framework is literally how the legislation listen. It's not just legislation documents. Like you have my understanding of legislation. You have the articles and you have the sections under the articles, which give you your powers to the right. So you have like Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, Article 5, Article 6, and you have systems of systems of system a system of way, but there's a resolution in one article. So for example, I don't want any cross referencing of articles. I want cross within one like health within for example the care, for example, you have the Care Act 2014. And the Care Act 2014 was my rights to housing at age 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, got a property. I declare myself a care leaver. Now, I'm 24 years old. 25 is 18 to the 5 care leavers program. But when you asked about the Care Act 2014, so by 18 years old, you got a property, independent property in the community. Primarily, it is not a broken system. It's basically a law system. So we don't miss out anything. We don't. It basically does for human accountability and for in errors error margin. Like is in errors, human accountability in errors. Things like corruption, scandals, things are not done right, wrong. Injustice. But it's expressive of like my whole constitutional framework of OBNXS. So it is the U power framework is your right to the power of a system. And for same for simple you got inverted. For example, I haven't got my calculator here, but let me give you one example. Let me give you one example. See what I can come across on my phone. Come on, go faster, faster, faster. Sorry, just a plane there. So you got your rights to the power, your rights to the power. So how does this work? How does this work? It works like this. So you got your rights, which are defined as so you get like 30 human rights. 30 human rights. In the current European Council of Human Rights, that has obviously my one is 35 because I'm from this dynamic. So in my framework, I have because I'm a tripolar. I am basically how I calculated before. So you're gonna have your rights, and your rights are what gives you powers to do something. So your rights to the power of a framework. So basically, the Oha Iwu EG is low. So you're gonna have because I'm tripolar. I am on the spectrum autistic, but I'm classed as disabled. No, I'm not disabled anyway. So I have five senses: sight, taste, touch. Five senses I can act on. So five senses. I have five senses, like five senses I can act on. Five things I can act on, and five things I can measure, and five things I can't measure. So, for example, that means that's my powers. So that's my powers. So that's my power. So that's five to the power of four. Four. So that's like a five to the power of four. And for my disabled, if I'm disabled, I have four to the power of five, of five rights. So, that would be what's computed. So, for example, for example, my rights are five. times 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 5 to the power. Because let me just calculate my calculator. So, no, I'm using my calculator. So 5 rights I can act on. So it's going basically the formula is A times B towards the power of A plus B. So A plus B represents the stability right. Very important to understand is the stability right. Because you have half a dimension of those rights, and that's A plus B. So if this works out, you have the stability right equals to A plus B to A times B, because it's half a dimension of rights, so it's all computable under the U power framework. So it's basically the goal is to have people that are disabled have the rights addressed first, primarily polarized first. Because if you're disabled and so if you're disabled and you can't get it, it's not equitable. It's not equitable in the kind of grand scheme of things. It's not gonna work. So for example, let me try to do a calculation here. So, let me start, so half the dimension. So, if, for example, if I'm legally blind, I can see I'm half blind. I'm half blind. So that's half a right. So that's like, having one sensory, half it. So that's a half a sense. So that's half a sense I have. So if I'm legally blind, I have half a dimension. So it's not to the power of half, because, if you have one right, one times 1 to the power of half, what do you get? One to let me just try to do, because I don't know what that outputs. 1 to the power of 1 divided by 2 is 1. It's still 1. So 1 to the power of 1 divided by 2 is 1. So you still have that one century right. So it's making sense. So if you have I'm trying to remember how I did this, in my videos. So 5, let me just calculate now. 5 senses, 5 I can see, 5 senses I can, so 5 touch, taste, this open sense framework, open sense, like sensing around. So I can see, not I can move, not a move first. So open sense rights, open sensory infrastructure rights for paranormal sensory infrastructure, parasensology. So paranormal sensory infrastructure, like sensing what based on what the information gives us. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is, I have 625 here. So 625 articles on my right. You're right, yeah. 625 rights based on, this is all I need. 625 written rights in form of articles. So I have 625 articles, and that's the maximum local maximum I need to enforce my rights. So 625 rights, my rights will be literally looking for some kind of a system, of governance of VR or ha or woo, which is law. So you can fight for your rights via the law framework. So you're gonna have OHA. So this is basically it's gonna be 625, but this is your right. So you have 625. No, this is your right. So this is like your powers to services, or your rights, and your rights to the power of. So your powers to will be a half of it. So if I call it 4 to the power of 5. Which is sense dimension of rights. You have half dimension, so you're gonna do 4 to the 5 to the power of 5 to 5 to the power of 4 625 to the power of 4 to the power of 5. Is it? Because 4 senses to the power of 5. I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking this up as I go along, but they're gonna be uh, uh, 4 to the power of 5, which would be, so that would be, no, 4 plus 5, 645 to the power of 4. I hope I'm getting this right, because if I don't get this right, plus 5, I'm trying to take it seriously. 9, which would be, so basically Are these your rights? This should receive the power. So you have basically this is 645 to the power of 4 plus 5. You have your rights, which are 645 rights, and your powers are 19321 348 399 907 970 251 953 125. Those are your powers. So your rights and your powers are, the same anyone you have. So basically, you can switch them up. You know, simply, so you're gonna have 4 plus 5, which is 5 times 5 times 5, and your rest of the power. So you're gonna have 1,900,000, 19 billion 300 and the 21 19 million 321,438 438 399 million 907 970. I can't say this number. So basically it's in threes, so even in threes. So in threes we have so these are your powers. These are your powers you have to address anything based on the kind of your rights. So your rights are power. But you have the opposite. So you're gonna have disability rights first in my framework. So kind of this so you're gonna have the polar priority of addressing your rights, your disability rights first. So you're gonna have 4 plus 5. I'm not disabled, it's 9, but 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 5 is 9 to the power of 625, for disability rights, 625. And this should be, whoa, this biggest number is too big for me to compute. Say 2.9, 2.59. No, these are disability powers to rights. Your powers to your rights. So this is the worst case scenario, basically. So this is in the worst case you're disabled. So you're gonna have 252 017 7191344 502087089444200515 e plus 596. So basically you're gonna have a big because it's basically 5 plus 4 plus 5 to the power of 625 legislative documents. Then keep your rights preserved. Just to keep your rights preserved. But this is what this means. This is your power to your rights. Your power to your rights. So basically it's all computable. That's the idea. So you don't have a new document saying that it doesn't work, because it's basically how to calculate rights, but using the U power for your rights to the power, or your power to your rights, what you're entitled to. So basically it's all gonna be automated, but I've just tripled your human rights framework. So I've just tripled it. Basically this is just double it. So basically I just double your human rights framework with this kind of framework. But it's all computable. You gotta know your rights. So you don't know. So it doesn't matter what section you're in, all of your rights hold. So this is what I'm saying. It's a beautiful conundrum to address the kind of system up status constants of things. But it's what it is. It is what it is. I wish I was in the sun. Let me step in the sun for a second. And this your book is dirty. So that's what I'm saying. It's basically your rights to the power of something. Anything else I'm forgetting? No, no, no. So these are your power to your rights. That would mean it's basically bound to EG. So EG or ha ewu, So you can write them as for every path, for every shape, every path there is to go, there's a solution to the problem. That's why your human rights matter. For every way, every shape you go, left, middle, right, back, forward, turn, upside down, inside out, there's a solution to your problem. Thank you for watching this video on governance. I hope this does make sense to you guys watching there, because, this is the whole framework of OB Nexus. So, Oha is means public, Iwu is law, and Iji is order. So it's order. Thank you for watching this video.